What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gung-Fu Super Bros podcast, the number one podcast for Kung Fu martial arts movies and pop culture. What episode is this?
Guys, this is the 50th episode.
50.
Fitty. Woo, I'm 50.
Yeah.
That's how we're doing it. We're making it happen. Oh, Barca, say hi.
Hey, what's up, folks?
Super Producer Stevens.
Hello.
And remember, my name is Ivan. Hey, shout out to Enrique out there. He will be joining us next week. He took an extended vacation. That's what he decided to do.
He had some trauma, PTSD from his kidnapping experience.
There you go. So he's just kind of, he's catching up, making sure he's ready to go before he comes back.
Did the movie trigger him?
Which one? The Batman movie?
No, this movie.
There is a catnipping. Wow, a kidnapping scene in this. You're right. We didn't think about that when we picked this movie, man. Sorry for that, Enrique. Our bad. But hey, Barker, you were telling me about some wild Disneyland cruise, because that's what it's called, but it confused. Star Wars.
It's
cruise.
Space
Cruise.
That's
What's
right,
up with
guys.
that, Barker? What do we got going?
Major League Butt Kicking is back in town. The Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is the official name. Opened up last week to the public. The Galactic Starcruiser is a 2-day event. Let me rewind that. It's a hotel. It's a Star Wars themed hotel. Now, you talk about cruise. They have Star Wars nights on the Disney Dream, on some of these Disney
different
ships.
cruises. Okay.
And they seem pretty cool. But this is an immersive experience where you get to live in the Star Wars story. So you get to choose it's a Star Wars choose your adventure in real life.
Okay.
From every video that I've seen, it seems pretty cool. People were shitting on this for months now.
Shitting on it how? Like, what were they
first
mad
of all,
about?
it's a very pricey event. So for a family, 3 adults, 1 child, it's $6,000 for 2 nights, 3 days, and that third day is just kind of breakfast. And then they're like, hey, there's the door.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's,
like on a cruise.
Yeah, but I guess my thing is, if you don't, you're mad because it's too expensive. Well, don't go.
Well, yes, but it's Star Wars Disney or Disney Star Wars is a sore spot for a whole bunch of people.
Oh, the fact that Disneyland's connected to Star Wars?
The fact that Disney, they feel that the sequel trilogy is kind of inferior.
Oh, gotcha.
That it's not what they wrote in their fan fiction.
It's those fickle Star Wars fans.
I still know it's Dexter.
So there's Reddit after Reddit of just people bashing this, man. Bashing Disney. Anything Disney does, it's Star Wars.
Gotcha.
But then they're second the Mandalorians,
Yeah. They love it. It's amazing.
So it's the same person.
Got you.
Not the same producers, but like the same person behind the scenes is like, yeah, let's do that and let's do that. And you guys just bring me the best stories you can.
So it's a hotel, but obviously you're not going to pay $6,000 for just being able to sleep in a Star Wars themed room. Are the rooms Star Wars themed?
Yes.
Cool. But like
you interact with a droid there also.
Oh, they have they're like an Alexa.
Okay.
And it's a little screen on the wall, and you're given a data band, which at Walt Disney World, they give you a bracelet. This bracelet can connect to your credit card. It's also your tickets. And so you literally just go and press it to the sensor, and the RFID chip inside will let you in or will pay. Kind of like when you do the lightning lane at Disney, when you tap your phone. Same thing, but just it's a bracelet. Yeah. Which, spoilers, it's coming to Disneyland. California.
Hey, very cool. Yeah. Okay.
D309 is the droid in there. So it's like an artificial intelligence droid who interacts with you.
What the hell?
Bro, you can talk to this robot. And you're like, hey, D, how you doing? She's like, I am very good. How are you?
Now, when you're talking about a droid, is it moving around your room, or is it just like on a table? And
she's a screen.
Gotcha.
She's a video on the screen.
Yeah.
In your room.
Yeah.
And you basically go, bing, and you're like, hey, how's it going?
But she's like doing stuff. She'll be like doing stuff. And then you'll be like, hey, D309, or you wake her up or whatever. And she turns and then she talks to you. Hey.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Wow, dude.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You're getting something for $6,000, obviously. But okay, so on top of it, the rooms,
Yes.
The way when you were talking about it, it's kind of like what you said. It's choose your own adventure. It's a murder mystery. So what's happening outside of the rooms in this hotel?
Outside of the room, you are on what's called the Halcyon. And the Halcyon is a new ship that they've invented that is like the Titanic. Well, kind of a bad example, right? But it's the super famous ship that you ride. It's, you know what? It's the Love Boat.
The Love
Yeah.
Boat.
It's the Star Wars Love Boat. And Han and Leia had part of their honeymoon there. Anakin and Obi-Wan had their honeymoon there.
What?
No, and so there's just stories, and the Disney is very well with is awesome at synergy, and they have come out with a comic book series based on the story. So you get there, they give you the first issue of this comic book, and you're like, hey, you want some more info? Here's what happened.
Like, here's the history of this boat, of the ship. That's so cool. Okay. So then, so when you go to a cruise, like, this is not a cruise, it's a hotel, but when you go to a cruise, there's like at 8 p.m. there's magic, at 9 p.m. there's this. Do we have that same kind of setup for this hotel?
Yes.
But it's a big 2-day adventure.
Yes. And so the main story is that you are on, they've restored the ship. It's now pristine. It's like it's brand new.
But it's 275 years old.
Yes.
A brand. It's got a few miles on it.
That's right. And so you have, I forget their species, but the blue aliens, kind of like the guy that takes Ezra Bridger.
Oh, yes.
In Rebels.
Okay.
Thrawn, Admiral Thrawn. So that kind of alien.
Okay.
And so she immediately, you're like, hey, welcome. There's like I've never been on a cruise, so I don't know what the person is. The director, cruise director.
Yeah, cruise.
She's like, hey, welcome. This is your first time. Bye-bye. Here's drinks. And they give you like little space cocktails. And they're like, the bridge is here. Engineering is there. Your rooms are upstairs. You can just kind of walk around. And then you see the captain. And she's like, hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're going to Batu, the planet, basically the planet from Star Wars Land. And immediately something's happening. So you see like the crew members are talking to her, and the first order shows up, and they're like, "You are now under the supervision of the first order." Blah blah blah. And so they in like 30 minutes, they're like, "Oh, these are the bad guys. These are the good guys." There's a droid, like an actual droid that goes around. There are cast members dressed up as aliens. So one is a Rhodian, like a Greedo.
Okay.
And she's the DJ on there.
Hey, okay.
And so she'll come up to you and will talk to you. And the mask has actual, like, her eyebrows move and her mouth moves.
Wow.
And she's like, and you're like, oh, no shit. Words, yeah. And you're like,
crazy.
oh my goodness. And you can be like, hey, I love your outfit. Just like, oh, this whole thing. And yeah. And so as the day progresses, so they'll split you up and you're like, all right, B group, go and check out the bridge. See how it works. The bridge is a giant video game. Yes. Wow. And so they're like, everybody grab a station. We're going to pretend there's something going on here. And so we're going to shoot asteroids. So everybody man your station and you're controlling it. And so there are no windows. Every window is a giant screen. And you see space. You see space the entire time.
Like you're on a ship.
Like you're on the ship.
There's other ships in the distance.
So even the window to my room?
Yes. Yeah. The window in your room is a screen. And you're like, hey, I'm tired of watching space. So you push a button and then the shades come down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so crazy, man. Like it could be end of days outside. And as long as you're not connected to the outside, it's going down. Like you don't know. You're just,
you would not know.
Okay.
So you park and then I don't know if you like they with a golf cart, they take you to the front of this building. And it kind of looks like some of the buildings at Cape Canaveral at NASA. So it's just concrete. And so they're like, all right, guys, check out this video. And they're like, during the cruise, if we have a real emergency, this is what it looks like.
Oh, wow. Okay.
During the story, if we have a quote unquote emergency, this is what it looks like. So if you see this, immediately leave your quarters. As you know, there are
just like a cruise does. So like you have muster, they call it muster.
Okay.
And you go and you learn how to get in the lifeboats and you learn where all the stuff is. So like everybody goes up at the same time. So that's where they kind of gather you and they tell you. So they give you all of that at the same time.
Okay. So I'll have a question about that after. But okay. So you learn the fake from the real at the beginning.
And then you're like, all right, so now get into this room. It's going to be, you're going to take a little ship, a little spaceship to the actual cruiser. And then the room starts vibrating, and then it's got like these windows, and you see you leaving, and it goes kind of in hyperspace. And you're like, all right, we're here, and you can see it dock with the Galactic Starcruiser.
So you've seen, and then obviously you've seen a lot of. You're watching this on YouTube.
Yes,
the same YouTube that has the Gung-Fu Super Bros podcast on it now.
Like and subscribe.
All right, man.
Bell for notifications.
How have the people been reacting to it now? And two questions. I asked you a question. I stopped. So I'll ask it. Are these people that you're seeing super fans? Probably, right?
So 2 weeks ago, Disney invited people to stay over.
Legit super fans.
so media.
Media.
TikTokers, influencers.
Gotcha.
They went.
All right.
We're not there yet, guys. I mean, like and subscribe.
Subscribe, please.
And so they were either invited to a 4-hour kind of presentation where you played some of the games.
Gotcha.
Or you were invited to stay there for 2 days.
Whoa. Okay.
And so obviously Disney invites you, and you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
And so they were very glowing reviews about the Starcruiser. But last week, people actually paid money.
It was the first reservations
Gotcha.
that way.
Have you heard anything?
Dude, there is
Which these could be considered super fans.
Are the super fans.
These are the super fans.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But sometimes the most hardest to please, maybe, right? So, okay.
People who have these very critical YouTube channels, they went and they're like, dude, this thing is amazing. Wow. Yeah, I watched the live stream yesterday when the guy's like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like.
Okay.
And people were like calling them out on the internet, and they're like, nah, man, you're just a show. It's like, nah, dude, you know when we are legit unhappy about things. He's like,
why are people mad that they're enjoying this?
I don't know, man.
The internet's such a funny place.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And they're like, it's amazing. It's too much money, but it's amazing.
Okay, so we're in Cali. We're in California. You got to book a flight.
Yeah.
You are probably going to be there more than 2 days.
If you're going to go out there,
something else. Oh, and you said something that was pretty cool. The second day of your stay, you get to actually go into the park.
Yes, you get to go to the Planet Batu.
And
there's a special entrance that they've built.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So people were clowning this because you get into a box truck.
Okay. What do you mean by a box truck?
Like a delivery truck.
Oh, okay.
But inside
But you don't notice because you
inside
get into
it's themed.
it.
The outside
Is a box truck.
Okay, all right.
And so
Okay.
people are like, man, freaking Disney. Why are you so cheap?
Yeah, they can't even luxury
it's
it
a quarter
up.
of a mile from the hotel
Who
to
gives
the
a
thing.
shit?
And to be honest, the theming on the inside is just as cool as the hotel
Oh, wow.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in this truck. Totally looks like you're whatever.
So you go there and they give you front of the line passes to all the attractions. If you want to go to the cantina, you can. If you want to build a lightsaber, just call concierge and say, hey man, I want to do these activities.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so you can take different paths. You can be a smuggler. You can be a Jedi. You can be a First Order sympathizer. And so you get there and they give you a data pad. They hand you a phone and it's got the app, this interactive app installed on it. And so the characters start sending you messages and they're like, hey man, I got this special mission. Are you down?
What?
And so if you go to Batu, there's other missions there that you can do.
So you're interacting with the park in a way that you wouldn't be able to interact with this park unless you went to the cruise.
Yes, but there's also that app exists
Outside of
So if you go to you can play specific games on the Play app, Disney Play app. And so like the past weekend when we went to Disneyland, we were playing that game and then we figured out that people have already ripped like these little tags that you could scan, or they've taken away some of the interactive features. So I'm trying to complete a map of the galaxy and I need 2 maps.
Oh,
and so I can't get them. If I don't get those, I don't get my achievement. And so
people are just yakking it.
Yeah. So you have to go to the cantina. We made it into the cantina because there was room. And ask, hey, like, how do we do this? And they're like, oh, they turned us off. And you're like, oh man. So it's like now. So I sent the company a message. I'm like, sir, I'm trying to complete this message. And they're like, there's stuff outside that you can also play.
You asked to speak to the manager?
I did. Because I'm like, hey, is it turned off in just at Disneyland? Mm-hmm. Or do I have to now go to Walt Disney World and complete this mission?
Oh, wow. Okay. So sounds super cool. But expensive as all get out.
Yeah,
it's expensive.
Because again, we were thinking if you're going there, you're flying, you're staying there probably for more than 2 days. So you got to get some other kind of hotel. You got to do this. It's an expensive trip, right? I mean, especially if you have a family. It's expensive anyways, but if you have a family, whoa, right? But I'm sure and I don't know how you would know this, but did they sell out this week?
They have sold out a lot of dates up until June, and then they've started to release more. Here's the thing. When you hear hotel, you're thinking, oh, there's so many people here. It's about 100 rooms. So it's a very small, intimate experience that you can have.
Okay.
At one point, if you were trying to follow the Jedi, the path on Batuu, you get a holocron, a Jedi holocron. And when you take it back to the ship, Rey's there. And she uses the Force to open it up. And there is, when it opens, so this thing opens up and then there's like a projection. So it looks like a hologram of Yoda. And Yoda's telling you, the Force, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh, that's fucking amazing. So here's the kind of frustrating thing that a lot of fans are saying. All of these things were promised inside Star Wars Land.
Okay.
And then the new president comes in. He's like, hey, we're going to cut back on stuff.
Because we're going to do this other thing.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's annoying because it's so awesome. Like right now, if you go to Disneyland and Galaxy's Edge, R2-D2's there, and he walks around or rolls around, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And I can just imagine if you're a little kid, like this, you're meeting a celebrity. You're meeting Kanye West. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my God, he beeped at me.
The kids in the videos honestly look like they're having a freaking blast.
The kids were so into. There was like some kids that are like, I'm with the First Order.
Yeah.
Yay! And they're like, and then they started dogging this little kid because he's like, that's him. That's the guy. And the kid's like trying to hide.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Wow.
That's the space Nazi.
The space Nazi.
And then I think the Rhodian said, hey. There's good people on both sides.
Good people on both sides, guys.
So as of right now, it is sold out through May, with the exception of 26, 27.
I'm hearing, guys, 26, 27. If people hit that like and subscribe, maybe we can get up there in that time, man.
Celebrate a birthday, maybe?
Maybe celebrate a birthday up there.
And then there is a week of June that's open, and then pretty much the rest of the year. But it seems like they have filled up the more
especially now that people know, like, this is really cool. I want to go. And so again, just people being negative on the internet, they would see a thing open up or like a whole bunch of things opened up because you had to pay like 6 months in advance, all of it. There was a certain date and you have to pay all of it. And so you could see that people were like, I don't have the money to go to this. So they pulled out. But it might be one person. It might be 10 people. You don't know how many people have.
Got you.
And so they're like saying, see, this is going to be a disaster, which they said when Star Wars Land opened up. So here's the thing from the guy that's very critical, the live stream I saw. He says, you know what? I didn't like Star Wars Land because it felt like it was missing something. And so he says, now that I've been on the Galactic Starcruiser, it filled in the story that was missing. And so he said, I appreciate now all these other things, all these other aliens. There's people that want so bad for this to have Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. And the thing is that like the Rey there doesn't look, sometimes they look like Rey, sometimes they don't.
It's not her. So, I mean.
So like for me, it'd be like, send those Harrison Ford, right? Okay. So I don't know if I would enjoy it more. I like Star Tours because you can see it's got the robots. Give me the robot, the droids. I'm freaking happy with it.
Okay.
If it was like a Mandalorian one though. Ooh.
But I mean, and it's a choice. Nobody's forcing you to do any of that stuff. I mean, I've had conversations with Enrique before, like at what point in time do I get like out of LAFC tickets if they keep raising up, and they've raised up very little. It's nothing bad, but who knows, right? Who knows with stuff that's going on? They jump up 100, 200, 300, and now I have to have a tough conversation with myself. I'm gonna be mad. Am I gonna stop watching them? Okay. No, because it's my decision to stay or it's my decision to get out. And, and I love it. I enjoy the heck out of it. Big shout out. Week number 1, the Tifo, Vicente Fernandez, was beautiful. It was amazing. The son gave a shout out on his Instagram. He said that he loved the fact that they're celebrating his dad and stuff like that. So he's probably my favorite. But cool. I mean, I would be bummed out, but it's my choice or not, right? Like, it's one of those things that like, you just got to know if it's worth it or not. But I mean, if you can, and you want to do it, it sounds like it'd be freaking awesome. Question, Stevens and Abarca. I have never been on a cruise. Abarca, have you been on a cruise? Not even a booze cruise? Fool?
No. So as a kid, I had inner ear problems. Okay. And so I never learned how to swim.
I know that.
And it is so scary. Yeah. Even though I've been whitewater rafting.
Yeah, and you threw everybody
off, but I hung on to like friggin' Spider-Man. I'm like, I am not dying here. Not
today.
Not today, devil.
I also have not been on a cruise. It's never been I really wish I could go on a cruise, but I am also terrified of I'm terrified of the ocean. I don't like water. Except shower water and the one I drink. I'm not a fan of pools. I'm not a fan of rivers. I'm not a fan of lakes. I'm not a fan. That's just not my thing. I think it's awesome. Like I've been, I'm all sea-doing, jet skiing. It's fun, but
on your sea-do.
I'm a sea-do, but I'm over it really quickly. A buddy of ours has a boat. It's cool. I'm over it really quickly. Like it's just not my, like my wife's like, oh, what if because we have a huge backyard. She's like, what if we had a pool? I'm like, no, I don't want a pool. I'd rather you drop a basketball court back there. Like I don't want like that. I just don't like it. So a cruise, on top of my fear of like crazy amounts of diarrhea, getting stranded out there, like, I don't know. And then if the boat goes down, fuck that. But so Stevens, you have been on a cruise.
I've been on a cruise.
A cruise one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I grew up on water.
Wait, I thought you grew up on a cruise. You were like, shit, you were like, your dad was a captain or what?
No. You were the little girl from Love Boat?
The Love
Oh my gosh, no. No, but we had my dad's brother introduced us to water skiing and houseboating and stuff like that. And so my dad.
A houseboat is a boat. That's a house?
Yes. like a motorhome kind of house on
the water.
On water.
Man, that sounds like a water RV.
So
it is a water RV.
So why do I want to be on a houseboat?
I don't know. I do enjoy being on a lake. I am not a big fan of cruises because it's my inner ear thing. I get sick. So like I have to Dramamine up and I don't necessarily like that and all that. Maybe, but that's not me. So the one cruise I did go on, like I felt good when I'm outside in the fresh air, but when I'm inside, you just don't feel right for whatever reason. And it's so funny because the boat is not really moving all that much, right? Like, cause it's a big, heavy boat.
Huge. Like,
and I've been like in our boat, where you're water skiing, just like a ski boat, like you feel it when you're on Lake Mead and the waves are, I've been sick on that boat too, but not just like boating around. No. So I don't know. It's different for me.
That's weird. So, okay. So
I'm comfortable because we grew up with it. So
you're on this cruise, like why do I want to go on a cruise? I've never been. And I've heard people's like, oh, it's fucking awesome, bro. All you can eat, all you can drink. And I'm just like, I can do that on land. Like I go to Vegas.
Say, none of that is the selling point for me.
Okay. So what?
And because it's not all you can drink. You're paying for those drinks. You're either buying that drink package that's expensive or you're
on international waters. Like you can do whatever you want.
I can murder a man.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Maybe like cockfighting? Like what's going on? Both kinds?
I need to look into that. Is that a draw?
Is that what it is?
No. Well, I guess some people like that. It is like being in a hotel. Like if we were going to Vegas, but we're also going to the Grand Canyon, and then we're also going to make a stop in Phoenix, and we're also going to make a stop here. And just like every day you wake up, you're just there. So like there is that, like you have your day at sea, which people swim in the pools and they gamble in the thing and they go watch the magician or the comedian or, you know, the different acts of entertainment. But like really, I think for most people, it's destinations. So like I'm going to the Bahamas and I'm going to see all 7 islands, right? And all I have to do is go get off and then get back on my hotel room. And then I sleep and I wake up and I'm at the new place. Okay. I think that is the draw for most. Because that would be the benefit. I'm not driving yet. Yeah. I've gone to several islands over a week. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not flying to each one and I'm not having to unpack and blah, you know, all of the things that comes with travel. I'm just there. I wake up and I'm there. I go have cool dinner, you know. Yeah. You do get fancy dinners and they do have like dancing, like there's clubs on board and, you know, there's beverages and there's pools and entertainment. Take care of your kids and all that, right? Don't they have, like, and like some of the YouTubers I've watched recently, they go on these cruises and they're like Disney on Ice is on board and like freaking Cirque du Soleil and like there's legit shows like on board. Shows. Yeah. So like, and that's all included. You're not paying for that. The only extra things you're paying for are anything you do off boat and then alcohol.
Drinks. Interesting.
Everything else is included. And so like, I think it makes it easy for some people.
Well, okay, and right now is a time to like get on these things, right? Because every time I swear I turn on my TV and I actually watch a commercial because I've not recorded this, it's like they're trying to get people back on because the Rona hurt that damn industry, like crippled it, right?
But the flu goes around on a boat because you're all together and you're all, you know, it's all
up each other's business, bro. Yeah. Ugh. So that's what I'm saying. Like, no, but you're probably gonna get sick. You got to make sure you're just taking crazy amounts of vitamin C and zinc and all your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy. How do you guys feel about camping?
I love camping.
Really?
Yeah. I can't do it so much anymore because I need to freaking take a too tall air mattress because I can't sleep on the ground.
Queen mattress in the back of that fucking truck.
You know she fancy.
You glamping? You glamping, Stevens? Don't lie.
That would be glamping for me. Like I've never camped in a motorhome or whatever. I've never done that. I'm always tent camping. Tent, outside cooking, ice chest. I've been camping once.
The last time I camped was the last time you camped, bro. Yep. Like it was my
once and only time.
16 years ago.
Yep.
17 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
It was my bachelor party.
Pee. First of all,
you went camping for your bachelor party? You've never been camping before? Okay,
can I say this right now? Unlike Enrique, I will not lie and tell you that I don't know what a strip club is.
What are strippers?
I know what a strip club is. I just don't get it. What I'm telling you for that is I'm paying for you to basically get me all wound up, but then
nothing.
What happens? Like, I'm not going to be one of those weird dudes that shaves down his track pants to a point where he's like I'm not going to do that. And then they're not showing me anything new. Show me a third nipple or something. I want something strange, an extra click. I want to see something that I don't regularly see. Like, if you show me some kind of trick, I'll be like, you know what? Good job. I never got it. So I didn't want to do that. Dancing with a bunch of dudes, if I'm not trying to dance with, like, if I'm not trying to, hey, boys night. Like,
wow, bro, thanks. I'm sitting right here.
So instead, I was like, let's just go up to the mountains and stuff. Yeah. We went camping. We also went into the sulfur pits, which smelled like ass and corn chips, but felt really good on the body. It was weird. We went around. We were up in the mountains and stuff like that. But I'm not the biggest effing fan. I'll be honest with you. Barker, what happened to you that one day we went out there camping?
It's the last time I've been fishing and the last time I went camping. So first of all, so I get it. Camping's outside, right? But you don't realize how dark the world is when you're not, somewhere where
illuminated by city streets.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I wake up in the middle of the night. First of all, it's dark. And then I'm like, all right, I got to go pee. So I kind of walk to the edge.
The whole tent smells like fart.
Yeah. So I walk over to the edge.
Well, that's because you were with all dudes.
It's all dudes, yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just see 2 glowing eyes. And they were high up. So I can't even be like, oh, they were squirrels or it was a raccoon. It's like, no, these eyes are like
a possum.
6, 7 feet tall. There's only one thing that's big out there. I said, nope. I held it in. We got a UTI. But I didn't get mauled by a bear.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I went to college, so I don't have to sleep on the floor and like in the outside. So I'm like, I just whatever. And I feel bad because my kids are like, Dad, when are we going fishing? I'm like, we go to Long John Silver's. I don't give a fuck about that, but I don't want to go fishing. The fuck, like we're not gonna eat that.
Oh, that's a cool bonding thing to do, though.
It's boring as fuck, Stevens.
It is, but it's not about that.
I would rather sit outside. We can sit outside all the fucking time. What's the difference from me holding a goddamn stick and then just sitting outside and chit-chatting?
Then you catch something, man. It's accomplishment.
What are you gonna do with that fucking fish when you catch it?
You eat it.
No. You know what people do now?
No, we had to eat what we caught. So
yeah, my dad was the same way.
But your dad is a freaking hunter, and he comes back with giant buckhorns, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, my dad did the same thing. He would catch catfish, and we would eat them. But like, I'm not gonna eat that shit.
Why not?
Because I can go to Long John Silver's. I'm not. Look, let's be 100% real. I'm not a fish guy, anyways.
Why is Long John Silver's?
Because I can't think of another Red Lobster. I don't know. I can't think of another fish place. But like, I'm not a really big fish guy. I don't dislike fish. Sure. I never want it. Like I never like. You know what I really feel like right now?
You crave. Yeah, you never crave.
I don't. I really don't. Shrimp. Scrimps all day long, like and stuff like that, but not fish. So I'm not gonna eat. There's not even that attraction to it. Where like maybe I'll catch something I can eat. Then God knows now what you catch. Half of those things probably got all kinds of fucking chemicals in them.
Well, yeah, if you're over here at Truxton Lake or whatever.
Truxton Lake, is that what it's called?
Freaking A.
You mean
like
the reservoir?
Go.
I mean, is that
wasn't that what they call it?
Yeah,
Truxton
exactly.
Lake,
right. So I don't know. It's just been I think. So you enjoy the actual like I love barbecuing outside. I love all that stuff, but just camping. And my kids
I like sitting in a chair around the campfire, just talking.
You know, you can buy fire pits and do the same fucking thing, right?
Yeah, it's totally true. You can, and I do. I enjoy that.
Okay.
I like enjoy that element of just sitting out and freezing. Like the last, is it the last time I went camping? One of the last times I went camping, it actually snowed on us. So like, and we were all in tents, and it snowed, and I was so cold and wet, and I hated it at the time, but I loved it. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Nope. I don't even like the snow. I like the snow for 5 minutes, and then I'm all, this is some bullshit because I'm never prepared for it. I don't even when I know I'm going, I don't have the clothes for it.
Yeah.
I'm out there like sweatpants and shit.
No,
like,
you got to dress for the.
And then my wife's like, let's buy like snow. I'm all, the fuck am I gonna buy snow pants for? They're expensive as all balls, and we're gonna use them once.
But see, if you had them, maybe you would go more because you're prepared.
God, it's cold and rainy.
That's because you're not prepared. If you were prepared.
Have you ever ran into animals out there?
When I was a kid, there was a bear that came into our campsite and tore apart an ice chest and stuff. But
funny story.
This bear?
No, it wasn't a bear. It was actually a Sasquatch, and then it ran into the road, and all you heard was a convoy, and it was like, bah, bah.
Maybe.
They were playing Spanish music too. It was crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just so hard for me because there's just not that enjoyment aspect of it. I know my kids and my family want to, but dude, if I saw a bear, okay. I did the Grand Canyon, and I did stay at the Grand Canyon, but it's a hotel, right? Like,
did you do the lodge or whatever?
Yeah, the lodge. Like one night at the city that's down there, Williams, and did the whole cowboy stuff. And then we went up to the Grand Canyon and stayed there. Train ride was super cool, and all that stuff. That was fun. So in the morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for a run. Like, this is gonna be a beautiful run. Like, I have to run over here. So I get up and I throw my headphones on, and I'm looking at my phone, like, what song am I gonna play? And when I look up, there's a damn deer looking at me. And it's probably from me to Stevens. I almost shit myself. Like, it's a deer, and that dude was more scared of, like, he was scared, right? But I was like, oh shit. And I'm thinking, like, what do I don't know what to do. Do I get big? Do I get small? Do I act dead? Do I act alive? I'm like going through this shit in my head.
You never thought just keep running?
Fuck no. Like, hell, I don't know. No, I froze, Steven. That's what I did. And luckily, some guy was running, and the deer looked at him and then just ran. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh God. Like it was again terrifying. And it was a deer. If I saw a bear, I would shit myself. Like I wouldn't even You see, I don't even like that interaction. It was crazy. But it's a funny thing though. The Grand Canyon is super cool, but at the same breath, like it's so depressing when you hear all these stories about like, oh yeah, people just come here and they just walk off the edge.
For funsies or?
Yeah. Like people, that's like, they get at least, they say 30 to 40 a year.
That just
Yep.
like jump off to Paris?
They say if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it at the Grand Canyon. YOLO. Well, actually, like legit.
And it was gone.
Boom.
Really? I did not know that.
They tell us in the tour, they're like, and this is this, and this is this, and about 40 times a year, people come and kill themselves. So anyways, on the ride, I'm like, bitch, did you, that's like, you're the fucking worst tour guide ever, dog. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. So then
I would not want to die that way.
But if you're jumping off of...
No, fuck no. Because then what are you going to do? And then no.
For a long time, he was like,
That's what I'm saying. It's a long ways down.
Oh, shit.
No.
And then, So then I'm running, right? I'm running. And as I'm running, it's 6:30 in the morning. Sun's coming up, right? And I see so many. And this is years ago. So this whole like, let me get the perfect picture thing. Well, it was happening already, but not as I think prevalent as it is now. But there was people that were like taking those pictures, and somebody's doing yoga on the edge, and this other person's doing this, and I'm just like, shit, how does it feel to get? Because there's no barriers. There's no like fence that you have to jump to get into. Like it's all open. Like so like it's there. So I'm like, well, shit, how does it feel to get on the edge of something? Motherfucker, I went to the edge of that rock, looked over the edge. It was beautiful. And then a gust of wind just came and then moving. I was like, oh shit. I literally just sat down and I scooched back. On the way till like I felt comfortable enough to stand again. Shit, scared the fuck. It was beautiful, but people were like doing yoga on the edge and like taking that picture. And I'm just like, fucking A. It is cool though. It's one of those things that I was like in awe of it. I'm just like, this is a hole in the ground, but it's kind of badass. Like it's kind of badass.
It's a huge hole in the ground.
Huge fucking hole. And they have those like you can go down in the burros and kind of see everything.
I want to do that sometime. I think that would be kind of cool.
Riding down and coming back up, maybe. Yeah, but I know there's ones that ride down, stay there camping, and then they come back up. Which I mean, again, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm never gonna camp again. I mean, I'm sure at some point I will for something, but I'm not like, let's make it happen.
No, I enjoy going out, doing a day trip to a national park. Yeah. But I'm like, let me bust out my stuff and I'll be Ansel Adams here. Like, no.
You're like, let me book my room and then I'll come back the next day. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm not going to lie. Like, I want to go to, is it North Dakota or South Dakota where the president's heads?
North, I believe.
I want to go up there and see that and Sitting Bull and all that. But I'm like, I'm going to stay my ass in the hotel. Like, I don't want to check that out. But, I mean, for sure. I think it's not North, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just don't get the camping, man. And the wild animals and stuff like that, man, that shit just terrifies me. But speaking of animals, we'll be back after this break. Oh, hey.
South Dakota, by the way.
For the president's head.
I thought it was when I said North because I think it's North, but then I was like, no, I think it's South.
It's North of South Dakota?
Yeah, hey, fun fact. You know who contributed to that?
Who?
The Klan.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes they do some good stuff. Jokes are just jokes, guys.
I don't know how to take that.
Wait, you're talking about the Wu-Tang Clan, right?
No. The Wu-Tang Clan band?
Wu-Tang band? All right, so that was the trailer for 1990s oh my God, you're actually reading
the back of the box.
Hey, 1990s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Hey, yo, Barker. Hit him with the back of the box, for real.
Hey, what's up, guys? Now you can catch America's favorite green teens in their first live-action blockbuster film. After waiting in a puddle of radioactive waste, these radical reptiles are transformed into New York City's greatest crime-fighting quartet. Featuring a soundtrack by MC Hammer.
I knew it.
This film will captivate adults and kids alike with its blend of humor, camaraderie, and martial arts action. Don't miss this blockbuster movie. You'll have one shell of a good time. This movie was directed by Steve Barron. It stars Elias Koteas as Casey Jones, Judith Hogue as April O'Neil, Jim Saito as the Shredder, Toshishiro Obata as Tatsu, Michael Turney as Danny, or Dan. Jay Peterson as Charles Pennington. Raymond Serra as Chief Stearns. And these really amazing stuntmen that played turtles.
Yep.
And people that played their... almost everybody in this movie, every kind of weirdo character has a dubbed voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Everything's okay.
So
Interesting.
this movie was made with a $13 million budget.
Okay.
In the US and Canada, it made $135 million.
Damn.
And it made $202 million worldwide.
Shit. No wonder it got a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
Super Producer Stevens, how many Turtles movies have been made?
Altogether.
I was thinking about that. I was like, what, 6?
I can answer that. That's 5.
Only 5, really?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking 5.
Not counting animated?
The animated one was going to be 4. And so it's technically 4.
Okay.
No,
but I'm saying turtle movies like since the beginning. Like,
yes.
Even including the 2 new ones.
Yes, Ninja Turtles
Okay.
and Rise of the Shells or whatever.
Yeah. But then there was also that TMNT.
That was a television show.
No, there was a movie.
That's a movie.
That's
from
4.
2007.
Oh.
That would have been 4.
That would have been 4. Okay.
But they're like, hey, we don't want to. CG movies are becoming popular, so let's just not get people and let's make them CG.
Got you.
And so then when they came back for the remakes, they're like, hey, CG turtles, real people, I'm in.
So live action is 5, and there's an upcoming Untitled reboot film, is what they're telling me.
The Seth Rogen one, right?
I don't know who's in it. I can look.
Okay.
I can look. And
I
then
thought Seth
there's
Rogen was writing it or something like that.
there's 5 or 6 animated movies.
Really?
Yeah, but they're
There's
Straight to
TMNT,
videos?
the
That's what I-
2007.
ones.
Gotcha.
There's Turtles Forever, Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja
Which
Turtles.
I saw, which was really good.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie from 2022. So that's coming this year, an animated movie. And
Okay.
then next year, there is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the next chapter
Okay.
coming out. So,
okay. Is this a kid's movie?
It should have been a kids movie,
Okay.
but Steve Bannon was like, "Hey, Steve Bannon,
Wow, back to the plan. Hey, let's continue. What happened?
Steve Barron, who is he was a very good music director.
Mhm.
So the Take on Me,
Oh yeah.
that's him.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Some Bowie videos, the Money Ain't for Nothing, the Dire
Okay.
Straits video,
Mhm.
the CG one, that's him.
Okay.
So they wanted somebody else, and they're like, "Hey, we can't get that guy. What about this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he says, "Hey, I don't kind of want to make it. I don't want to pander to kids,
Okay.
and let's make it a little more of a mix between the original Mirage comic books and the cartoon series, which was huge."
Huge.
Yes.
So this movie is made during. It's not like they're coming down from their popularity.
It's in
this
they're in
movie's
their 4th year of
killing
popularity,
killing
yes.
the game. Okay, interesting. Now, Golden Harvest. Yes, that Golden Harvest.
Yeah.
is a studio that made this movie.
is they produced it, and Raymond Chow is executive producer of this movie.
Okay.
This movie is distributed by New Line Cinema.
Okay.
Now they're known for all of these amazing movies, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. But back then, they were the ones that would distribute the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
Oh wow. Okay, that's kind of interesting.
And Critters, they distributed kind of those. So they were very kind of horror, maybe not as big a name. Now, nobody wanted this movie.
Which, again, that's my question. If this is a license that is killing the game, right? And kids' movies are being made at this time. It's not like nobody's doing a kid movie. I'm sure there's kid movies in the 1990s that we could point to, whatever, or around that time. Why didn't nobody want this franchise?
Well, because Masters of the Universe, the canon movies, starring Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. No, don't check for me on that, please.
I think that is.
As Skeletor. That bombed.
Horribly.
But that movie was also made after Masters of the Universe. The actual toy line and the cartoon were kind of done.
I was going to say that's an example of something that was kind of on the way down.
On the way down. So they waited too long.
Gotcha.
They waited too long to make this movie, and it didn't have the budget that it deserved.
Okay.
So because Canon make
Plus, it was also made by Canon. So I mean,
yeah, so they were very famous for creating these amazing posters, and then they're like, "This is the movie," and they sold international distribution rights to this movie, and it never was as good as the poster.
So everybody was scared of it. Golden Harvest says we'll do it.
Yeah.
And Golden Harvest, to the best of our knowledge, never made a kid movie before and never made a kid movie after that.
Yeah.
But this was a hit.
This was a big hit.
Second one is not Golden Harvest?
It's not Golden Harvest.
Okay.
And a lot of Baron makes his, it's a very gritty movie. People were like, man, that 1989 Batman, was so gritty. And you're like, was it?
The original Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Michael Keaton one.
Yeah.
It's so dark, man. He's wearing a black suit. That's how metal this guy is. And Turtles comes out, and it is true to the comic book. It is violent. I don't know if I would show this to my nephew.
Interesting. So let's speak on that.
Okay.
People might think that I think most people think the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started with the cartoon.
Yes.
But before there was a cartoon, there was a comic.
Yes.
And that comic was kind of like a cult classic. It never really got big, right?
It got really big. Where
the comic did.
Each comic would sell more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And quickly Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird were like, oh, we should probably merchandise this and try to see what we can do. So they signed up with Playmates to make the toy series, and then they signed up with a syndicated company to make the cartoon.
So if you're anywhere around our age, you had a turtle toy growing up.
Probably.
Yeah,
so in 1986, they dropped, and they're the biggest thing ever.
Okay.
Now the original comic book is actually, it's like a parody
of
the origin of the Turtles is that there's a boy walking, and he's about to get hit by a car. He swerves out of the way. A barrel of mutagen, of toxic waste, falls on him, and then falls on the Turtles. And the Turtles, their fishbowl breaks, and they get cast down to the sewer.
Okay.
Now there is another hero who was one day walking, and there's a truck, and it swerves and it misses him. And so this is a spoof on Daredevil.
Okay, interesting.
Where the Foot Clan are the ninjas in this.
Yeah.
But in Daredevil, it's the Hand.
Oh, yeah. Why Daredevil? Why
It just because also at this time, Frank Miller is huge, right? You've got him coming off Daredevil, and then he's going into year one, and then he'll do the Dark Knight Returns.
Got you. Okay. So then, you said the little boy's carrying the turtles, and that happens. Is the little boy Splinter in this?
No.
Oh, what does the little boy become? Just another.
He's a random.
Got you. Okay, sorry.
Kid on first page.
Okay, so nothing happens to him, but the turtles become the turtles.
Yes.
Does the comic book have a Splinter?
Yes.
Okay. And it's just the rat in the sewer?
It's a rat in the sewer that discovers a manual, and he starts a lot like Stephen Chow in Kung Fu Hustle. Then he starts teaching them. And so then they build out this mythology that.
But violent, blood.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not necessarily blood, but a violent comic book.
No, super violent.
Not a kid's comic book.
Shredder, I believe Shredder dies in the first issue.
What?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
And so then he comes, they're like, oh, this is kind of popular. They bring him back.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. And this book is so unexpected that it doesn't get printed by a regular comic book company. The guys say, hey, we're going to print our book. And I believe it's like someone that makes ads for like Chinese restaurants.
I'm on camera ads for, or which one?
Yes, kind of like that. So it was.
Shout out to anybody who knows what camera ads are.
The actual book wasn't a comic book size. It was the size
magazine?
like of a little. Like a menu.
So if I can find an OG Turtles book, it's got to be small.
It's got to be bigger.
Oh, wow. Super cool. Okay, so we got this violent comic book. Yes, they're turtles, but it's super violent. It becomes a cartoon, and it's super kid-friendly cartoon.
Yes.
We got the Surfer, Michelangelo. We got the Brainiac. Are those
traits are from the cartoon.
Gotcha. Okay, so those traits. Okay, so then they make this movie, and they keep the traits from the cartoon, but there is not necessarily. I still feel like, yeah, your nephew, yes, I understand that. But I think kids a little bit older, I think they would be fine with it. Yes. But there's some hard spots in this movie.
No, for sure.
Like, there's some spots where I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. Like it was a little like, so I was like, hey, interesting. So, all right, well, let's get into this movie.
All right.
We start off with the Foot Clan just robbing the streets. It's New York, right?
Yes. Yeah, it is a porno Times Square, New York City, where everything is
gross.
Even the print of it, the actual the transfer of this movie, you can see the grain in the movie.
Okay, so they're robbing everything. It's happening. The Foot obviously like Whoppers. Did you guys see that? The old school Whopper?
Whopper, Archie, obviously
Critters,
Data East. That's a New Line movie.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was going to ask you about Critters, but when you said that earlier, so there's a Critters poster in there, and I was like, Critters, which scared the shit out of me when I was young. Critters. Then, we find out that and this was a great question. The Foot seems to be kids that end up robbing for them, that after they prove their worth, they become part of the Foot of a family, and blah, blah, blah. But we don't know what they do for money at all.
No, that's... So we see them stealing. They steal this old black lady's television. She's like, what the hell?
Yeah. They break into... they steal like the inside of some truck.
Oh, they're good, man. They're the most amazing ninjas ever, because a guy turns his back and then the entire UPS truck is gone.
Well, that lady, she's watching her TV and she reaches in for her popcorn and that guy's already down the fire escape.
Gone. It made no noise because he's a ninja.
Yeah.
So then we quickly meet April.
Yes. Who's she's a hard-nosed reporter.
Yes.
She's a New York gal.
But why is April walking around in the dark? Because again, this doesn't look like safe at all. Like you called it. This is a rough New York.
Yes.
And as much as you want to I wouldn't want to walk alone in that fucking New York. And she's out there walking alone. But whatever. She turns the corner to get to her van.
But she literally went around the corner. So in her mind, it's not like she took the subway and was jumped.
Yeah. So she turns the corner to get to her crappy van, and she's noticing that there's a robbery.
Yes.
Right? These guys are literally stealing like the news truck.
Yeah, they're stealing all the cameras and
equipment and all that stuff. So then it goes dark.
Well, we hear a sigh flies through the air, and we hear the sound effect, and then the screen goes dark, which as a kid would have been amazing. You're like, wait, what's going on? Especially if it had that stereo sound.
Yeah. And then we hear the sounds of ninjing.
Yes. Ninjutsu.
Ninjutsu. It's happening. The turtles are celebrating. Ralph leaves his sigh out, right? And again, we have no introduction to anybody yet. We don't even know April's April. Do they say April? April, you need to go home or something. Something like that. So then there's a sigh left. We could see the eyes of something. The manhole covers creeped up a little bit, and he's about to reach for it, but then boom, he has to leave it. You hear something, right? And he's gone. The sigh's left behind.
April finds it and puts it in her coat.
Yes. Yeah. She's got it. So then we now get to see the turtles.
Yes.
This movie expected everybody that's watching it to know who they are. Don't you feel like that? I feel like there wasn't really much story building.
No, because you don't get the introduction, the official introduction of the turtles until the end of the first act.
Yes. So they're assuming everybody knows who the turtles are because they're that big right now. Which is probably true, right? Yes. Maybe a few parents were like, "No, I think the parents would even know." Because you're like,
"Well, look, you're going to a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles."
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, their flashback to introduce them is really shitty.
I get it, but I think the backstory is for people who maybe don't know who they are, but I think people are generally aware.
Yeah. So, okay. So then, I love this. We see Splinter for the first time. He's, talking to his kids, right? Telling them. And I love the whole, him trying to teach a lesson while Mikey's ordering a pizza.
So no anchovies, man.
If there's anchovies on that thing,
first of all, you put in the order, Mikey.
Is ticking.
Have you ever had a pizza with anchovies on it?
I have, but we had to special order it.
Okay.
Because we were having a conversation with my staff and I, and we're like, hey, you guys ever had anchovy pizza? And
because growing up, it seemed like that was something that a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But never. So, okay. How was it?
Super salty.
But it wasn't bad?
It was extra salty. Like imagine you went a little heavy on
you were thirsty as hell at the end of the pizza.
Interesting.
All right. I've never had anything with anchovies.
I have not had anchovies.
But it's funny because it was a thing.
But you couldn't taste the texture of it.
Okay, so it's not like it was just salty, is what you tasted.
It was super salty.
Okay, so then they're teaching him a lesson, and then like he tells them to go and meditate, and they meditate in ways that only turtles can. They start dancing to tequila.
Yes.
Yeah, that one right. They're doing it or whatever. And he's kind of like, like, there's a lot of sounds by Splinter in this movie. Like a lot of sound making. These kids, right? Like, yeah.
My son.
Yes, very much so. And why does Raphael have that voice?
To me, he always sounded to me Raph's my favorite. Donnie's my second.
Okay.
But he sounded the most New York to me.
He's almost over the top New York.
He's a very like Brooklyn. Like,
yeah. That's why I always thought that was weird that he's the only one because nobody else talks like that.
No.
All right, so I thought that was interesting. Okay, so they're dancing to meditate, and then we run into that poster. This is where the poster of the Critters movie as Raphael, aka the Master of Disguise in the Turtles group, is out in the streets. Okay,
yes, he goes outside to go, and he goes to see a movie.
What's his disguise?
Well, just like in the cartoon.
He just got dressed, bro.
He's got a trench coat.
Okay.
And he's got a fedora.
A big ass hat.
He's not. No. I will say that John's hat that he's wearing right now is bigger than the fedora that Ralph has on.
No, it's
but
big.
he puts up the collar, so he pops the collar.
You can still see his big ass
He
green
looked like
face.
Carmen Sandiego.
No, it was not the size of that. Pull up a picture, Stevens. That is not the size of that hat. That's a little ass fedora.
First of all, it's New York City in the 80s.
Ain't nobody give a fuck about that.
No one cares. Like
everybody's on.
No one cares, and we'll get a callback to that. But so these are human beings.
Yes.
Inside latex rubber suits.
Let's talk about that. Okay.
Right. These suits were created by the Jim Henson Creature Shop. They're like, we need the best of the best. So the majority of the money went to Creature Shop. And
Corey Feldman's voice.
No, he probably didn't get paid that much.
No, he got paid $15,000.
What?
Yeah.
Shit, he should have asked for stock and turtle money. Like, right? Interesting. Okay, so so Jim Henson, for people who don't know, can you let them know who Jim Henson is?
Jim Henson is the creator of the Muppets. He's the creator of Fraggle Rock. He is a puppeteer.
Down at Fraggle Rock.
And truly believe that through the puppetry arts that you could tell any kind of story you wanted. And he pretty much did.
So the best of the best.
The best of the best for these suits.
Okay, so we were talking about this. How many people does it take to make Michelangelo happen?
So Michelangelo has a stunt performer.
Okay.
He has
in the suit.
Okay. He has someone that does the voice for him after.
Gotcha.
They had this special rig where it looked like oven mitts. Mm-hmm. And so you would move it and the servos in the head would move. So there's that puppeteer. Mm-hmm. There's probably a puppeteer for eyes.
Wow. Okay.
And then if they need to do some sort of gag, then there's probably other special effects people that are working on that.
4 to 5 people minimum.
Yes.
Per turtle. How, and what was this? You said that what was this, the weight on these suits?
I want to say they're like 50 pounds, but Super Producer Stevens.
But I was looking for the picture.
Okay.
So like a lot of the toy pictures came up, but that's one
is
from the
big.
movie.
It is, but it's not. But I guess my thing is you can see his fucking face.
But the toys, it seems smaller.
Oh, smaller. Okay. They ain't giving you that extra plastic in the toy, girl. Damn, that is a big. Yeah, you see, it's not that big, but okay, it's big enough. It's not Carmen Sandiego like, but I'll give it to you. But you can still see his green ass face. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, of course.
But nobody cares. Right?
So we want to know the weight of the suit.
Weight of the suit. Okay. So let's just right now for talking points. We're talking about 40, 50 pounds, right?
Yes. It probably more. Okay, so like Michael Keaton's Batman suit was 80 pounds.
Damn. So that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty good that it's only 40 pounds in.
So what? We'll see in a second.
Okay.
But there's a scene
70
right
pounds.
70 pounds.
Okay. A small human, small kid.
Yes.
All right.
And this one says over 70 pounds.
Again, depending on what is it, just the stunt suit?
What you're wearing?
Does it
Gotcha.
have
Is the one with the face moves or is the one with okay? So now, I guess my thing is because I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the fight in this movie it's not Killzone, or anything like that.
No, but it's impressive to be wearing those.
That's what I'm saying. For the suits they're wearing, for the stuff that's on them, this is pretty badass. I mean, I was impressed by it. I had forgotten, because as a kid, you're just like, they're cool. It's Michelangelo. I'm not thinking about the fighting, but this time I was looking at it in different eyes, I guess. And I was like, shit, these guys are wearing suits and they're doing that?
There's a scene.
Cool.
There's a scene right after that, after the tequila scene, where Mikey is waiting for pizza. Donatello skateboards in, and you see him skate a long way through the sewer set.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's super impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. It is totally impressive.
All of those guys lost 20 pounds over the filming.
So that's what we got to do to get jacked, bro. Let's get old school turtle suits and just wear them everywhere, bro, as we're teaching. Do your work. Maybe they'll listen to the turtle. They don't listen to me,
Maybe.
So, okay, on a side note, I'm on Yahoo today and I'm reading and it says, teacher beaten and sent to the hospital by 5-year-old kid in her class.
How small is this teacher?
I wish a fucking 5-year-old would. You can give me the toughest. I'm saying it right now. Find the toughest 5-year-old in the world. I'll beat his ass. I don't care. 5-year-old?
Wow, really?
Yeah. Now I'm thinking it's more a teacher thing than it is a student thing. In the sense of the teacher probably. Oh, who knows?
I don't know.
Who knows? But I was just, when I read that, I was like, what the shit? Okay, so back to the movie. So we meet a very cool character at this point. But okay, there's a funny scene where somebody tries to, they try to rob Ralph? Or when he shows his side?
No. So
what happens there?
Pizza guy shows up.
Yeah.
They take the pizza and then there's a comedy moment where they toss the pizza up in the air.
Yes.
Leonardo
slices. Yeah.
And then it lands on Splinter. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, who delivers a pizza that's not already sliced up? Just saying.
It's movie magic,
and
Stevens.
when you put it down in the sewer like this,
it doesn't get all over them.
It hasn't
plastic.
Tacoed up in the box.
It had that little plastic
Oh,
there.
oh,
So
oh.
fun fact, that pizza guy is Mikey.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All
So
of
they're
the
all in it.
actors had cameos.
Oh, very, very
Yeah.
cool. I did not know that. That's awesome.
So
Okay.
Mikey gives it to Mikey.
Okay.
And then Raph walks out of the
Movie
Critters. And there's a lady that gets mugged, which to me, it's like Mexico City and New York City seem like a lot. Like don't be showing have your purse. Don't put your wallet there.
He trips him. Yes. And as the guy's running away, Ralph puts out the size 22 turtle foot and trips the mug. Yes.
And then the guy's like, "What the heck?" And he opens up his trench coat. He's like, "Hey," he points to his side. Like, don't do this, buddy.
Which, in what world is that? Like motherfucker, what is that? It's not a gun.
Well, first of all, this guy's dressed as an aggressive crime dog.
I don't know. It was funny when he pulled it back and showed the sign. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
You'd be like, bitch. like what? Like, I'd be more tripping out the fact that this fool's face is green. Like, that's not his sign or whatever his sign. But okay. So then, we see that, and then we see the thief kind of runs off.
Yes.
And he runs into
Casey Jones, man.
Casey Jones, I know in the cartoon. Casey Jones in the comics?
Yes.
Ah, okay. He seems like a good character for the comics.
Yes.
Like they probably had to tone him down a lot for this cartoon and for the book. Sorry, for the movie.
More for but he seems kind of.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
Who's this? Wayne Gretzky on steroids? But yeah. So then, we meet him. Very cool. There's a great line about, is this a Jose Canseco bat? I hope to God you didn't pay money for that bat or whatever. Really, really cool. So him and Ralph kind of have and what does he think? He calls him a punk? What are you, a punker? I don't like punkers. I'm like, what does that even mean? But he doesn't like them.
Yeah,
whatever that is. He doesn't like those punkers. But, and I also have down his notes, just saying, those turtles had amazing calves.
Yeah.
Their calf game they look like Manny Pacquiao. Like that's the kind of calves I think for these fools had.
Some big calves.
Some amazing calves. So then Casey kind of beats up Raphael, right?
Yes. He I would say sucker punches him, but like he hits him with a cricket bat.
So I had forgotten about that. It kind of seems funny that Casey Jones beats him. I mean, you're right. It's kind of a sucker punch, and I guess he doesn't have both of his weapons or whatever. But Raphael to me was also my favorite too because he seemed like the most badass of them all.
But he's also being a smartass and tell him like, look, man, a cricket bat, you got to know what a crumpet is. Basically, you got to know what about England before you can. And then he's like, bam, shut up.
Yeah, and he smacks the hell out of him, right? So then Raphael gets back home, and he's pissed.
Yeah,
and he has a real cool conversation with Splinter, and he calms him down. He kind of, tells him you need to learn from this, blah, blah. But you get to see the, similar to we talked about with Kanye and his mom, not to be funny, but this is Raphael and Splinter, right? He's his calming force. He's the one that kind of gets him to be centered again and stuff like that. So then we find out that Mikey's in love with April. Like, isn't he the one that's right on the front of the TV screen as she's reporting about the foot or whatever? And he's kind of like, whoa, she's a babe or whatever. Like, so he loves her or whatever. And then we find out that the boss's son, so April's boss's son, Danny, is a thief from the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the thieves, right? So he's trying to get into the foot.
As much as you can see this redheaded ninja coming.
Yeah, you're right. So then we have the thing where you said it was, oh my God, this was hilarious. So they chase April down to the subway, right? The Foot Clan does, because she's on TV and she outs them. She says like the Foot Clan, and the police chief is like, oh, we're not saying that or whatever. Blah, blah, blah.
Like, no one said that.
No one said that, exactly.
But you want me to start an investigation because a couple, and he wanted to say some racist things, but he's like, some people that don't from the old country.
So then the Shredder's watching this, and Shredder basically says, go get her.
Yeah.
Shut her up. Right? Because she's putting her name out there. And they want to be ninjas in the shadows. So they chase her down to the subway. And oh my God, the main Foot guy does a hilarious thing where he's out, I have a message for you. And then he opens his hand, and then there's nothing there. And he just goes, slap.
A message from my master. Shut it.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah.
He slaps her. It's hilarious.
That's right.
And she brings out the side, but can't do anything with it. It falls to the side. And then our boy, she does get knocked out. They knock her out. But that's when our boy Ralph shows up, saves the day.
Yeah.
Right. But he decides, because she's knocked out, to take her back home. Yes. Right. And there's some great conversation about, I decided to redecorate. I got a throw pillow, a reporter, whatever. Like the banter between them is very funny throughout this movie. I enjoyed it. But this is where the movie, I was like, oh my God, because she wakes up and she's like, ah, because she sees Splinter.
Well, it's a giant rat
with the creepiest hands. Those fingers are gross, man.
Oh,
it's super scary.
Yeah, just going down a rat hole. When I was in junior high, my science teacher had lab rats, like big giant rats
in the room.
Not just in the room, but he would take them out and they'd be crawling over your work.
Oh no!
And then he would I was like, "Hey, you dookie," and I'm just grab a Kleenex and clean it. I'm like, "How can I clean up for your damn mouse here?"
Oh, I would not be okay with that.
What was the point of that?
We had rats.
He's probably experimenting on them.
I had a teacher who had mice, but he would feed it, he would bring a mice out every time the snake needed to eat.
Feed a snake?
And feed a snake. And we loved that as kids. But that was into the cage.
This was a chunky rat.
This was Splinter?
But you know what?
Did you have a Turtles villain from the cartoon? The Rat King, bro? Was a Rat King your teacher, bro?
He was Baxter Stockman. But you know what? It is also, it's the 90s, so maybe he's like, oh, you know how I'm going to get these kids? With them turtles.
Maybe, you're right. So back to that's crazy. It's an ugly suit. It looks hideous. They are, obviously the turtles can move and walk, whatever, right? Is his a full puppet?
He's a puppet. And the puppeteer is Kevin Clash, the original voice of Elmo. And so he's holding up the puppet.
Okay. And covered with the rest of the body.
Yeah. So probably an extra long coat.
Trench coat or whatever.
Yes.
Whatever. Uh-huh.
And then there's full body puppets where you can see him hanging. So it's funny and very amazing how the Jim Henson puppeteers or the Muppeteers have to hide. Like sometimes you'll see Kermit sitting on the couch talking to Jimmy Fallon. Well, the puppeteer is inside the couch.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Their shoulders on these puppeteers must be just fucking jacked, bro.
So whenever he would make a movie, especially in England, and you would have people like, "Oh, we got to make a movie with these puppets," and he'd tell everybody, "Hey, you know what? Everybody, put up your hand. And just put it up.
Hold it.
Keep holding it. Hold it." And he's like, "We're gonna do a minute." And he would do a minute, and people are like, "My hand hurts." He's like, "Yeah, guess what? My crew has to do this for 10 hours a day." Inside uncomfortable things. So before you start...
And with weight.
Yeah, with
because
weight.
The puppets weight a little bit, right? Not just your hand.
Yeah, before you start talking shit, like this is what they have to go through. So if you all you do is have to move a light, well, be a little more respectful for my crew.
Wow.
And they don't see what they're doing. They'll have to look down.
They look through a television screen. And the television screen
see
is
what they're doing.
The television screen is backwards.
Backwards, so they got to know what they're doing back. That's fucking crazy. Yeah. So what do you think like this Splinter suit weighed? What do you think? What he was puppet like? What's a good puppet size? 5 pounds, 10 pounds? Kermit's more like a pound, maybe.
Maybe. You know what? 10,
I'm just wondering.
10 pounds, depending on what.
Okay. All right.
Maybe
so
more. I don't know.
Next podcast, guys, I'm gonna bring 10-pound weights, and we're gonna see how long we can hold a 10-pound weight.
Listen, if you want a puppet, I'll go get McGruff.
We'll just hold McGruff up. We'll take turns. We'll see how long we can fucking hold up McGruff. That's no. I always thought that you have a cool picture of. I think it's Jim Henson, somebody else running some puppet.
It's probably Frank Oz, Jim Henson.
Okay.
And you'll be the second hand.
Yeah.
And so imagine we get inside a sack.
Yeah.
And you have to be the right hand. I'm the left hand.
Right testicle, left testicle.
Right. And then so I'm the left hand, you're the right hand, and then we both have to look at the screen and then work together. And sometimes you'll see Ernie is grabbing his rubber ducky and then he like passes it to the other hand or he does this.
That's wild. Yeah, and my first thought was always like their shoulders must be crazy, Jack. Like they just be all shoulders. It's crazy. So okay, they take her home. She wakes up. She yells, screams, "Oh my god!" And then she like sees the turtles, and they're like, "Oh god!" So they're like, she's going crazy. Just because of I'm assuming because of Splinter's soothing voice. He's able to calm her down very quickly. And he goes into their backstory.
Yes.
Right? I think you've actually used a line about the turtles or whatever in our
four baby turtles
in our podcast before. But she's like, cool, I get it.
She was pretty accepting pretty quickly.
Very much so. She's you know what?
Again, it's New York in the 80s, all right?
At first she was like, what?
It's Golden
and
Harvest saying like they all fucking know, bro. Just go. Like they all know. Just keep it going. So then she invites them into their house because she says a magic word, pizza. And they're playing charades, obviously, right? And he does Rocky, right?
He does Rocky. He does from Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay. You're looking at me. Yeah. He's doing all that stuff. And while this is happening, so unbeknownst to them, when they were telling their backstory, there was a Foot Clan member just watching the whole thing. So when they're hanging out
just perving out,
when they're hanging out with April, they kidnap Splinter.
Yes.
I had forgotten about this. I think I was remembering
that they kidnap him.
Yeah. I think I was remembering Secret of the Ooze more than I was this
when
one.
They kidnap Raph?
Yeah, right, yeah. And I was waiting for Rocksteady and Bebop to come out. I was like, oh shit, I think that is the second one.
So I can't tell you about how big the puppet was.
Wait, they're not in 2?
No, Rocksteady and Bebop are in the CG one. The newer 2000 ones.
Okay, but in part 2, he gets some weird mutant things, but they're not Rocksteady and Bebop.
They are Toka and Razar.
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. You're right. It was a 2 weird. Like one was an ostrich and one was
one's a wolf. The other one's a snapping turtle. The only reason they have them is because the creators were like, don't put stuff in the cartoon. Don't give me stuff from the cartoon. Because they're like, we probably have to pay them. But if we come up with them.
If we make our own, we're good. Okay, so what do you got for us, Steven? So
I will dig some more, but I can't find exactly how big the Splinter puppet is. But I can tell you that Master Splinter is supposed to be 5'2", weighing 115 pounds.
In this corner.
Eyes are brown. He's left-handed. He's partially both purple and yellow as his favorite colors.
He likes long walks on the beach.
His hobbies are reading and cooking.
What?
His favorite types of music are traditional Japanese music and reggae. His favorite foods are fresh vegetables and cheese. And his favorite book is The Chrysanthemum and the Sword by Ruth Benedict.
Wait, did you step on his like fucking grinder page or like what did you like?
I don't give my secrets.
I don't know where I get all my info from. All right, good times. So they cancel Splinter. Then we get to see what I called as Bad Kid Disneyland. The lair of the Foot.
Yeah. So once again, we don't know how the Foot Clan gets their money. They're obviously stealing the stuff, and they just leave it in their warehouse. Because it's like, oh, I've got a Walkman. Let me wear my Walkman.
Yeah.
Oh, we can play Narc.
Oh, I totally have a note about Narc too, man. I was like, Narc? I'm like, like, okay, I saw that too. And the person giving everybody this tour is actually Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
Which is crazy. I was like, holy crap, it's Sam Rockwell. So then we get April back on the TV. She's talking, she was told by her boss not to talk that shit anymore. Which, wait, hold on. The boss shows up to her pad.
Yeah.
And just walks into the shower with her or into her bathroom, or was her bathroom one of those open bathrooms kind of?
No, I think she was like, she went to answer the door and then she like walked back because she was like, I'm getting ready to go or something like that.
So why the hell did he follow her back there?
She had her clothes on.
Because it's a movie, bro.
I ain't telling a goddamn difference. Anyways,
it
whatever.
was the 90s.
Or it's a 90s New York. That's what you get. That's what we're going to say about everything. So then, and he kind of basically warns her, like, don't keep talking that shit. Right? And the reason is because the police chief let his son off after getting caught stealing, right? Oh, he had a car stereo. He actually stole a car stereo.
Yeah, people still steal stereos, you know?
So then, during the newscast, she talks saucy again.
Talks her sass?
She does. She talks shit. She gives her props to the turtles, specifically Ralphie. And of course, he blushes, is what I heard. That's what the turtles told him because he was
he's blushing.
Yeah, you shut up, guys. Whatever, so whatever. And then
whatever, he throws his sigh at his
crotch.
Yes.
Right, that's true, right? And he's like, whoa. So then the kid actually they find him at the lair, right? When they go back in space.
No.
Did I forget something?
So Danny's there with them, and they're like, hey, how's school going? He's like, yeah. He's going great. So good that I have to drive him every day to school. And so he sees Michelangelo under the table in the reflection.
Yes.
And because the scene is really cool because the turtles are trying to hide in plain sight. Mm-hmm. And so it makes for some uncomfortable moments with April O'Neil. But he's already seen these turtles. Yeah. And so it's when later on in the movie, he's like, we have these enemies, the turtles they're trying to get. And so he's like, oh, I know where those turtles are.
So then I guess my thing is when they go back to their lair, right? The underground lair, and they see him there. Why is he there?
Because he ran away.
He's kind of having second thoughts or whatever at that point. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So then they're there at the place now that they know that Splinter is gone. They're going through it. Ralphie says, screw this, man. I just need to go. Because he wants to go. He's a hothead. Raphael wants to go already.
That's Sonny and Ralph. They were hotheads.
But Leo's like, hey, dude, I'm the boss. Chillax, relax. So he goes, I'm going to go upstairs and just work it out. So he's out there doing some stuff, pissed off. And Casey Jones actually sees him.
Yes.
From a distance, right?
Because he has binoculars and he's just looking out the window. Again, 1990s New York.
1990s New York. So then as he's up there and he's just kind of like going through his doing his ninja stuff, a ton of the Foot show up. Right? And he's going through that. And he's handling himself pretty well, but it's a numbers game.
They sent everybody.
And as they're now downstairs at this store, right? Getting a tour of the place.
Yeah, because April owns a whole building.
Basically, she got that reporter money, right? So she owns a whole building. Raphael literally falls through the top of the ceiling and he's beat to shit.
Yes.
And now the rest of the Foot Clan comes in too. And we get a pretty long fight scene.
I think this movie has three really cool fight scenes.
Okay.
Right. The first one is Raph taking out the Foot Clan in the subway.
Okay.
Then it's this one. Then this seems like a very extended period. a guy with nunchuck shows up, and Michelangelo's like, "What? A fellow checker?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he starts doing tricks.
Nunchuck off is what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
realized, dude.
nunchuck
That
off.
was one of my favorite parts of that movie, dude. So who is Michelangelo? Is that Ernie Reyes Jr.?
No,
No. Okay. So it's one stunt actor.
it's a stunt guy.
How did he do that with that suit on?
Well, if you notice, that scene switches from the remote control head to just a kind of a stunt head.
Okay.
And you can tell because
okay.
they're like, it's almost like their expressions are frozen.
Okay.
And so again, you just practice in the second movie. So there is a scene in this movie where Donatello laughs and it opens up his mouth, and you can see the stuntman's mouth. And so in the second movie, in order to avoid that, they're like, no, we're gonna cover that up
or something.
You can only see out of the little slits in the mask.
Jesus Christ.
And because of that, they're blind. And so in part 2, they
can't see
every
anything?
scene takes like 30 takes.
Well, yeah, because he can't see anything.
And so
Wow.
so the nunchuck guy is just, he's got his nunchuck skill.
So cool, man. So, and I mean, I love to the point where like going back and forth, and he just does the one where he's just spinning it on his finger or whatever.
Yeah.
The guy's like, what the hell? So super cool. The music in the fight scenes kind of annoyed me.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, it was very like,
Do, 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 do.
I don't know, but it was whatever. I mean, it was just one of those things that I was kind of like, But I get, again, this is where I'm like, it is a kid's movie. Like I felt like the music they had in the fight scenes was very like for kids or whatever. They have a huge fight. Casey Jones comes in at the end of it.
Yeah, they bring in halberds, these axes.
Yeah.
There's
They're like-
so many Foot Clan members that the floor collapses.
Yeah.
Now they're fighting inside the store.
Yeah.
Tatsu shows up. Tatsu is the right-hand man.
Uh-huh. Shredder Segundo.
Yeah, and with more reinforcements. And then Casey Jones is like, hey, what are you guys doing, my little friend? Oh, shoot. Who's that babe?
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of funny. And then he gets to hear the her getting fired.
He holds them off while they're because there's a trapdoor in there.
Yeah.
And so
It's in the back.
it's Charles and says, hey, April, I gotta let you go.
Yeah. And again, because she kept talking her sauce, right? Or whatever. So then we end up, well, they go to the farmhouse. But before they go to the farmhouse, the second, basically, Shredder's pissed.
Yes.
So then the second is super pissed. And he beats the hell out of everybody. Everybody. And Danny gets to see that. And then Danny has a bit of a moment with Splinter.
Again, I would not come up with that goddamn rat.
I'm with you, dude. I'm hearing him talking the whole time. I'm like, dude, this fucking guy is gross, bro. Like I couldn't do it.
Like
Man.
I can get past the turtles.
Yeah, the turtles weren't as scary.
If they
looking.
were frogs, I'm like, if they were the Battletoads, I'm done. I'll get out of here.
I'll tell you right now, fuck frogs, man. I don't like they're gross. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
If we got amphibians listening, I'm sorry, but y'all gross.
Gross. So then they end up going to a farmhouse that April, on top of owning the building, she also owns a farmhouse. But dude, Ralph's jacked. He's just laying in the tub. He's so beat up, right? And we see that Leo's like, because they had a bit of a fight in the apartment. So Leo's like the one that's watching them. There's little funny sweet scenes between Mikey and Casey Jones. There's our amazing scene where at some point April needs a massage and Casey's like, I got you, right? And then Michelangelo, because they're training Michelangelo.
Yeah, but he like forces her to sit down and he like starts rubbing
that
her
was a
shoulder.
note, right? So
I was like, whoa, 90s.
90s New York.
April's putting on balm, and then instead of being like, hey, I'm being a dick, let me put that on for you. He's like, no. So like
forces her to sit down.
This is no consent back rub.
No consent back rub. But then that scene's cut into laughter because Michelangelo comes in and he's like, oh. And she's like, you want some? Which she has some weird little tube of cream that I'm like, ugh.
Bro, in New York City, you go down, you go to the Botanica.
That's what I'm saying. You go to the bodega, fool, you can find something down there. But like Michelangelo grabs a bottle of turtle wax. And he shows it. My thing is, do they still sell turtle wax?
Yes, but not in that bottle.
Not in that green bottle. Okay. I bought wax recently. I don't think it's turtle wax, but it is what it is. So then again, we find out that April also is an artist. And she does some really cool pictures of the turtles and stuff like that as she's kind of giving her moment of talking and kind of going through it. She's a narrator at this part, right? And again, kind of heavy for a kid's movie at this. Like, these are some of the points. The conversations with the rat were kind of heavy to me, and I'm just like, damn, this is heavy for a kid's movie, you know? So it's kind of interesting.
Like Leo takes a moment of mindfulness and he meditates and he feels Splinter.
He uses the Force.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And so then he's like, hey, I found Splinter. First of all, they're playing Trivial Pursuit.
They totally are playing Trivial Pursuit. Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he steps on the board. He's like, hey, I felt Splinter. He's like, no. He's like, yeah, man, we all feel Splinter. we know he's alive. He's like, no, jerk. He's here. I know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it cut to them at a campfire.
Yeah. Just like Stevens wants to be.
Yes. So this movie took her back.
Exactly. And they all use the Force and they feel him. But on top of that, they're in tears.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, like I was like, this is heavy, man. So at that point, they decided to go back to the
They're
sewers.
down.
Yeah, like, which I'm like, now these turtle suits can cry. It was a better tear than the damn tear we saw in King Boxer with that damn frozen ass tear that didn't move. Just stayed right there. That bitch didn't move. They go back to the sewers, and this is where Danny, who has now probably had a change of heart after talking to Splinter, is now there because he feels bad about the decisions he's making, right?
Well, yes, he basically said, oh, these turtles are with April O'Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the Foot Clan shows up.
Yeah. So there's a great
and then he probably just looked her up in the telephone book and was, oh, April O'Neil, let's go. They Levitt and Bleecker.
And look, this is what's gonna happen. Please don't cancel me. This actually happened in this movie, but there's a part where they're like, oh, you're claustrophobic. He's like, I've never looked at another guy before.
Yeah, I have that.
I was like, what the shit? I was like, okay.
It was a homophobic joke from Casey.
Yeah, from Casey. So then Danny goes back, right? Why does he go back? Because he wants to help Splinter?
I think he wants to help Splinter at this point.
By himself.
But first of all, he's dreaming. Everyone's asleep. Okay. And he's having existential nightmares.
Oh, yes, he is.
Like, your father never loved you like I did. And I'm like, whoa, Master Shredder?
Yeah, he did.
Only I can...
Oh, it gets even weirder in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So then Danny goes, but at the same time, Casey Jones, because he's outside in the truck, because he's claustrophobic, but he's never looked at another guy. And he sees him and he's like, okay, I'm going to follow him. So he follows him. And now we get... Do we get... Yeah, no, we get the weird back pocket...
Well, no, so
touch,
Danny
right?
returns to the Foot Lair and he finds Splinter. Again, he just looks gross. Especially when he's all beat up.
So gross. It's worse when he's beat up.
And so he tells him the story of Hamato Yoshi and Urokusaki. Yoshi is his former owner. And he says that Urokusaki loved Yoshi's wife or girlfriend and followed them to America.
Mm-hmm. And Mama ain't got a job working construction.
Yes.
And he came home one day and she was dead.
Yes.
Right? And then, but I love the scene where the rat's just doing little karate moves.
Yo, man.
Yeah.
He's like Craig Garrett style, bro. He had the hand up. He's ready to block here and he was going to block here and he was going to bring it down. So, we see that. And then when he sees his dead wife, they go into a battle.
Yes. And he kills Amato. And then I leapt to his face and I slashed him across. And then he cut my ear. Not just stabbed the rat.
Didn't just kill the rat. He just cut his ear.
And he's like, oh, you're going to learn. I'm finna give you a lesson.
So, okay. I thought that was funny. The way the little rat flew and scratched him, comical was all shit. It was hilarious. And I don't know if you know this. In the comic books, is Shredder, is he also have that face? Maybe not just the scratches, his face jacked, or is it just this is just my helmet?
I think it's just his helmet.
Okay, so in this one, it adds a whole thing with him, all right? So got it. So then the Foot go to the sewer, right?
Well, so Casey Jones infiltrates the lair.
Of course
and he does a thing where you beat up a guard and immediately you're wearing their clothes.
Yep. Man, come on, he's a badass.
Right. And so he confronts. So then Shredder finds Danny. Mm-hmm. And this is where we get this creepy scene.
Yes.
He's you're hiding something from me. And look, first of all, if you run these giant Ginsu knives across my face, I'm like, bro, like whatever you need.
I got pictures. I'll give you
What's up?
I'll take you right now, dog, if you need it. Yeah.
And he reaches for Danny's butt and he pulls out a drawing of Leonardo.
Yes. Just slouch down on a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that's when the Foot go to the lair, right?
Yes, the Foot Clan goes into the sewers.
Mm-hmm. And just fight scenes.
But yeah,
there's more fight
the third act is just them fighting.
Yeah, it's fight scenes in the sewers. Then we move to the rooftops and so forth and so on. But while that's happening, we get a funny scene of Casey Jones fighting
Tatsu
the second, right? And Tatsu's beating his ass, but he falls into it because again, I think these guys steal stuff and resell it or something.
Maybe there's a. So he falls on golf clubs.
Yes.
Maybe there's a branch of the Foot Clan that infiltrates golf courses
and just steal it. And he fucking swings away and just knocks this dude into outer space. Like he sends him flying, right? And he says something about like, I'll never knock golfers again or something, right?
Oh no, he's they'll never call a golf a dull sport.
Dull sport, that's what it is. Yeah. So then we get that, and then legit just fighting. The turtles kick the Foot Clan's ass.
Oh, that first scene is cool. Like the Foot Clan show up into this sewer den, and they turn on it's not smoke, but it's like vapor or something.
Like the hot vapor of the water. Yeah.
And so you just hear the ching, 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 ching. And then Raphael has finished eating his apple. That's how much of an asshole he is. He has an apple.
And then we get that. They move up to the roof. They're kicking everybody's ass. Okay. All right. So, They beat everybody.
And more skateboarding.
Yeah, we get that too. Again, in these big ass suits.
In the big ass suit, but then also doing martial arts moves.
Again, guys, the fighting is not so much that it's crazy. It's just when you take the suit into account, you're like, damn, this is pretty badass. You know, it's pretty cool.
With limited visibility.
Yeah, which gets even worse for part 2. So then the Shredder shows up. Right? And
in a pretty badass scene.
I was going to say, they quickly show you that the Shredder's a badass.
Yeah.
Like he kicks all their asses. There's Michelangelo's nunchuck flies in through the air and stays on the ladder perfectly for somebody to use it later. But I like how we never really got to see the Shredder get down. But when he gets down, they do a really cool job of setting him up as badass. Because he basically defeats the turtles. And
then has time to lecture them. He's like, you fuckers are stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's all three of you could have probably overpowered me with the loss of but one.
Yeah. So
weapons. Throw them. Also, everybody that's doing an Asian voice in this movie, not Asian.
No, we're gonna do that later too, so don't worry about it. So this, we at this point, this is a gross part of the movie. At this point, on the other side, Casey, they bring down Splinter, and Danny's holding him up like he's hugging this rat. I'm not hugging that rat. I'd be like, damn, Splinter, you need to crawl your ass to the car or something, bro. I'm not helping that rat, dude.
I made you a crutch.
Come on, that's your dad.
Not Danny's dad.
No, but come on. Like they're hugging him at the end too. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and they're turtles. That's different. And if I'm not doing that. I better crawl your ass to the car.
Well, the turtles have first of all, the turtles gave everybody salmonella.
The whole movie, that's how they kill everybody is salmonella. It's actually not the fact that they beat their ass. It's all salmonella.
would you like to know what the Foot Clan is, how they make their money and stuff?
Yes. Oh my God, please. What do we got?
So it says they are powerful global organized crime rings who are familiar with multiple illegal activities such as drug smuggling, counterfeiting of money, gun running, murder, assassination, computer hacking, theft, and terrorism.
In this movie?
But not prostitution.
In this movie or
Not
overall? Because they expanded their business. They're like, hey, you know what? These first of all, then they made robot ninjas
that is not
for the
just
cartoon.
tied to this movie. That is just the Foot Clan in general. So that could be speaking of all.
And they're
of
like,
all
you know
sorts.
what? You know what? We need to work with some aliens.
Let's bring them in too. So then we get the scene where now Splinter has got his second wind and he's now on the rooftop.
Like he jumps up there or what? Like how's he get up there?
Danny throws his ass like Danny climbs up that damn ladder with just all that rat juice just laying on his ass.
Kevin Clash went man, why do I gotta just
So in the scene where Shredder approaches him, he uses a nunchuck to like flip him over. That's now a just specific puppet part to just do that with the hands real quick.
Yeah, because it seems like it's kind of a static thing, and then there's like somebody's hand.
Yeah.
Because he does a nunchuck move to grab hold of Shredder's staff.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't seem like a wire stunt to me.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
It seems like he pole vaults himself.
Like he stepped. Okay. The guy just puts some nunchuck on it and he just does the rest of the way.
Yeah, he's like, okay, here's the first part.
Gotcha.
Boom. All right, jump it.
Okay. And then, we have the whole thing. They're talking to each other. He tries to save him, but Shredder slips and falls. And then Casey Jones just creates straight murder. I mean, not creates. He just literally commits straight murder. Like he smashes this man in the garbage truck. Kids movie.
Oops.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Yeah, I think it's like literally oops. And I'm like, he just murdered this motherfucker. Right? Casey and April kiss. And then
the turtles are screaming like 9.95.
Which, again, I don't. Whatever.
I watched this with my students, and then they were like, and I'm like, you hush up. That's how some of y'all got made.
And then there's MC Hammer rapping, which I didn't know was MC Hammer until I heard his voice. I'm like, that's McHammer. Like I know for a fact that's MC Hammer. I know for a fact. Which again. 1990s about his spot too, right? Like he's killing the game. Dude, then the second movie gets who? Ooh, we'll talk about that later. So then we have that. There's a great joke. Bada boom, bada bing. It is the end of the Turtles movie. Okay, Marco, would you tell people to watch this movie?
Yes, even my students saying, what is wrong with the Turtles? I'm like, they're people in suits.
Yes, I watched it with my daughter this time. It was a lot of fun. I want to go back, watch 2, 3, and 3. Yes, even 3. I want to go back and watch them. They're just fun. Their banter is awesome. And again, just on the martial arts part of it, man, to just be thinking that these dudes are in freaking these 70 plus pound suits. And doing it blind, right? Damn, that's crazy.
They have to time the rhythm. Mm-hmm. Be like, all right, 1, 2, step, punch, boom, come back, flip.
Yeah, right? Like, it's wild. So, yeah, for sure, man. It was fun. It was fun to rewatch it. I rewatched this movie, I think, maybe a year or two ago, too. I think I was like, oh, it's on HBO. And I was like, oh, let me watch the Turtles or whatever. So, for sure, man, I would. Stevens, did you like this movie? Did you enjoy watching it again?
Yeah. Hanging out with Abarca sometimes, I get to see scenes just periodically throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. just random turtle scenes.
Just random turtle
this movie
scenes.
Is live, people. What are you talking about?
So yeah, it was fun to see the whole thing again and kind of revisit.
I'm holding the box, and the box is the original movie. Should be the only movie.
You're not a fan of 2 or 3?
2. Yeah, I love 2 because Ernie Reyes is in it. Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah, which we know we gotta love for Ernie Reyes Jr. for sure.
I gotta get you on the show, Ernie Reyes.
Come on, Ernie Reyes Jr. Hit like and subscribe, Ernie Reyes. But okay, does it crack the top 10 list for you, Stevens? What is that top 10 list that we have right now?
Your top 10 list is number 1 is Fearless. Number 2 is Enter the Dragon. Above Enter the Dragon?
Yeah.
He didn't stutter.
Wow.
Listen, I'm sorry. This had more philosophy from a rat.
Let's go. Continue.
At number 3, you have the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Number 4 is The Legend of the Drunken Master or Drunken Master 2. At number 5, you have Way of the Dragon. Number 6 is Crippled Avengers. Number 7 is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Number 8 is Fist of Fury. Number 9 is Iron Monkey. And number 10 is Kung Fu Hustle.
Wow, if I was hanging out right there, right underneath kind of the White Lotus.
You have, you're the ones that have recently been out because it came up on our Instagram page. Is Hero was recently out. Clan of the White Lotus, The Raid, The 5 Deadly Venoms. Those are
some
all
bangers, man.
Stop asking dumb questions, Rodriguez. You don't listen. All right?
What's up, Jimmy? On a side note, I did. My wife's totally called me out today when she heard the podcast and was like, "Yeah, I knew you ate that guy. We didn't believe your ass anyways." I was like, "Well, you fucking know me." And trust me, I paid for it, babe, so don't worry about it. You might have paid for it too. I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, it's Kung Fu Hustle is my bar now, right? And I'm just like, damn it.
In both comedy, creativity.
Yeah, for sure.
And
right?
then martial arts.
Yeah. So I know.
So it's number 2, guys. It's number 2. If Enrique was here, he would agree with me.
Oh my God. So no for me. What about you, Abarca?
2 people.
Are you being serious?
No.
It's like, oh shit, first. I'm like, wait, what?
Above Enter the Dragon?
Above it.
No.
But again, great fucking movie. Like, again, guys, a lot of these movies that I'm looking at right now are so good. Like, it's just one of those things, right? But it's a lot of fun. Between this and Kung Fu Panda. Just in the sense of, Sidekicks. Because those are all kid movies, right?
Sidekicks is a 3.
For sure.
Panda might go before.
Oh, wait. So Turtles 1, Panda 2. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I think this is better than Panda. Personally.
But I'm looking for different things.
I don't know. It's more outdated. So I think Kung Fu Panda is more kid friendly. It depends on what I'm watching for.
Enjoyment for me. I'm going to go with Turtles.
We watched this movie. The funny parts hit with the kids. The scary parts where they were like, oh. Mm-hmm. I'm like, he's a rat, kid. Stop.
Whatever, that was you making that noise. That was me making that noise. Again, not that we have an official kids list, but if we had a kid list, I think I would put Turtles, Kung Fu, and then Sidekicks was ass or whatever.
Well, number 2 is Hard Boiled, and then it's Kung Fu Panda. It has that baby that pees.
Stevens, you have Kung Fu Panda then Turtles.
I think I would.
Interesting.
I think I would.
Barca, so what's your final thing?
For
Turtles and then Panda?
Turtles.
Turtles and then Panda?
I love me some Turtles.
All right. Super cool. We're totally flipping the script for next week, Stevens. What are we watching next week?
Next week, you're watching House of Flying Daggers.
Oh. Epic Wushu?
Yes.
Yeah, 2004.
Okay. New
so
for
it's
us.
Newer. Mm-hmm. It's got some Andy Lau in it. It's got Zhang Ji.
Hey.
Whatever. She knows what she did.
I already hate her in this movie. I ain't even remember how it goes. I hate her already.
I bet you she's gonna run away from an old person.
This movie, she better hit the floor. All right, continue.
Dang. That was some hate. This is a little bit longer. Also, it sits at 1 hour and 59 minutes. So you're because you're leaving your
That's
hour.
not the bad, man.
You're leaving your hour 30ish. But it is not streaming anywhere, so you're gonna have to rent it. But it is on Amazon Prime, YouTube, Google Play. It's pretty much everywhere.
All right. So that's for next week. Epic, big, beautiful. So, be ready for that. Should be a lot of fun. Barker, where can they get a hold of us?
Vamp a little more.
Hey, so house flying daggers, guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's daggers and they're flying in a house.
We're almost at your year, our year anniversary, I guess you call it. Yeah, your year anniversary.
Warning.
What are you warning about?
Warning. Next week, we're giving you a fucking epic.
Yes.
Because the following week...
it's probably number 6.
Oh. You have not seen it, so you can't speak to it.
I'm going to talk my shit, all right? Just like those fuckers that haven't been to the goddamn cruise, I'm going to talk my shit. Then for the year, we are going to take y'all on the trip of why we decided to make this podcast and how it happened. And... as much as that movie that we're going to watch that day is probably going to suck donkey dick, it is the movie that with the Barca's help and we should do this. And then I saw that clip and I'm like, hey, what if we did this? And then it just kind of trickled from there. And Enrique gets in and then with super producer Stevens and then we kind of just go from there. It's because of this fucking movie. Right? Not because of the quality of the movie, because we never even saw the movie. We actually saw a trailer and we're like, holy shit, this looks horrible.
This is
it has my favorite MMA fighter of all time, Anderson Silva, the Spider, man, which we can get you on a podcast. I'm totally down. But we're going to check it out. And I've never, did you watch it? I didn't watch it.
No,
I've never watched this shit, but you look at the trailer. Stevens, you saw the trailer the other day. What did you say?
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
It's going to be fucking rough, guys.
But it'll be fun.
It'll be our first year celebration, guys. But again, before that, House of Flying Dragons.
Not dragons. House of Flying Daggers.
House of Flying Dragons. Oh my God. House of Flying Daggers. Hey, Barca, where can they get a hold of us?
Oh, my goodness.
I got you right mid-burp, bro. I'm sorry.
Sir. www.twitter.com/gung-fusuperbros. www.instagram.com/gung-fusuperbrospod. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to us. If you are viewing us, guys, like, subscribe, Ring the bell for notifications.
Please.
Likes and subscriptions. They help us out a lot on YouTube. It helps with the metrics. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can go to www.gung-fusuperbros.com or call our Google Voice number at 661-401-5941.
Mike Jones.
Be a part of a show.
All right, guys. But again, thank you guys. Please do hit that like and subscribe on YouTube. It helps us out a ton. Again, we're enjoying doing this, but let us know how you feel about it. Again, we got our next 2 movies just because we are doing our year celebration. But if there's anything you want us to check out, let us know. Send us that phone call. Leave us a message on Twitter. Let us know. Go and check out the Instagram and everything and follow us so we can make it happen. Hey, Abarca, say bye.
Be good humans.
Get ready for it. Super Dude Stevens.
Bye.
And remember, my name is Ivan. Love you guys. Make sure you keep listening.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, dude.
First of all, they said Cowabunga. You had one line. No, I'm not cutting it.
Sorry, man. Damn.
This is what you get.
All right,
guys. See you next week.